Media deals and schedules. It's time for a Pac-12 update.
Conference realignment is always in the news, so we're back on the big mountain to keep you updated.
Hey, welcome back to the mountain. I am JY. This is my good friend Steve. It's been a little while since we've talked about the PAC specifically. We've certainly talked about the PAC and the Mountain West over the last month or so with everything that's been going on. Did want to do a real quick update here for the PAC, talking about media deals for both 2025 and beyond, and also schedule for 2025 because they have not come out yet. As of right now, there's no media deal for 2025 or the new PAC in 2026 and beyond. Wilner says he expects a new deal to probably happen here in November-ish. It just depends on getting the lawyers involved, getting all the agreements put together. Right now, he is not expecting any sort of extension of the CW deal for 2025. He thinks you'll see maybe some multiple partners. We'll see how that goes. And also, certainly for 2026, he definitely thinks you're going to see multiple partners, probably multiple ways of viewing, both streaming and kind of the normal way, TV way. Yeah. So we'll see how that all goes. But as we know right now, they've kind of put a pause on adding anybody. They have said we're going to look at our media values, see what goes on. We did talk about, is Bob Thompson, the former executive of Fox there. He expected the first few weeks when they said that to just kind of get their consultants put together, figure out what they're going to do for the market. They're probably about there. I don't think they're technically maybe at the market yet, but their package is probably getting close to being put together in order to take it to market in November, as John Wilner alluded to. In terms of the 2025 media deal, Scott Barnes said he expects that to be finalized in the next few weeks. So the media deal that everybody's talking about right now in terms of the consultants, that's the 26 deal, trying to get that new PAC, the known 7 members, a media deal in 2026. That's kind of what Wilner was talking about. They still need a deal for 2025. So Barnes says, expect to hear something on that here in the next few weeks. But remember, he kind of said the same thing back in early September about their 25 schedule. And now we sit here almost the end of October and we don't have a 25 schedule. Yes, I know there's been a lot going on with the PAC since he said that. It was about a week before, the 4 members said they were leaving the Mountain West, and we did a report on that he said that. So they've had some other things going on, but they don't have a schedule yet. I will go over quickly some of the teams that they did add. We're starting to get a little bit of that schedule figured out. Steve, anything with the media deal before I get into schedules?
Just a few thoughts. I've been following the numbers. People have been putting the numbers out. I know Genetics has been putting out Big Ten and SEC numbers, but every now and then he throws out some PAC numbers. And it looks like the numbers have been pretty solid I think more so for the Oregon State games than the Washington State games, which is weird because Washington State has a better record. Right. But maybe there's just more Bees fans that are interested. You and I have checked out the CW coverage. The in-game coverage I think has been good, but yes, obviously we've seen they haven't put much investment into the production, like any kind of pre-game, whatever. What I have noticed on the CW is I think they've really been using this as a way to promote other sports that 100%.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see if they try and get involved as one of the partners going forward. And then one thing I'll just say, you were talking about the schedule. They're working on a schedule for next year. I saw I think it was, and I don't know if you're going to talk about this, but Washington State announced a team that was going to be on the schedule, and I was like, oh, okay. I was thinking that was for next year, but then it said 2028 and 2030, and I was like, oh, right. Okay, well, all right then.
Yeah, they've been doing some other ads as well, and with the media stuff, the CW's been fine. I agree. I think the product during the game has been good. I mean, I did just watch the Oregon State UNLV game. It was good. A little disappointing. There was a very small pre-show with 2 guys at a desk, but they were coming off of another live. I think it was NASCAR. So I don't even know. I don't watch NASCAR, but I think it was some sort of racing. So they had a very small intro. The halftime show really is them. You're right. They're just promoting different things. There's a NASCAR bit. There's other football bit. There's whatever else they show on the CW. I'm not a CW guy. It's a lot of self promotion, not so much diving into the game, which was a little disappointing because that was a hell of a game. But I guess it is what it is.
And especially when you see what TNT has done, great production value. You wonder why. And I know there was a thing. CW isn't really doing much of theirs in house. They were going to use whatever's left over of the SEC or the PAC network to do stuff, but a little disappointing.
Yeah, I agree. So let's get into some of the scheduling. We have learned some. Oregon State right now has only added one. We had heard, or we knew they had 6 teams on the schedule. They have added Wake Forest to their schedule. Other than that, I have not seen anything for Oregon State. So waiting on Scott Barnes, waiting on that 25 schedule. The only thing we've known that they've added has been Wake Forest. Washington State, on the other hand, has actually done at least a better job getting games out in the public. We don't know if they've actually done a better job of scheduling these games, but we know about more games. Since the last time we reported, they have a home and home with Toledo. So Toledo was added for 25. They added Ole Miss for 25, and they added Louisiana Tech as a home game for 25. So right now for Washington State, their power conference teams are Washington, Ole Miss, and Virginia. So they have 3 power teams. I believe that makes 9. If I remember correctly, I think they have 9 known games scheduled. 3 of those are against power teams. I will say Oregon State has more power teams on their schedule right now. Certainly Wake Forest is an ACC school. Not a great great power football team, but it is a power football team, and it's an ACC school. Yeah. So you get that crossover with the CW. I don't know if that means anything, but there is that there as well. So I did just want to point out some of the games that were added. Hopefully we get schedules for these 2 teams here in the next few weeks. But I'm not really going to hold my breath because Scott Barnes said we were supposed to have him like mid-September, and we're at the end of October.
Who did you say was playing Ole Miss?
Washington State.
That's a great
ad.
Yeah, great ad.
Yeah, it's a great ad. And then Toledo and Louisiana Tech, obviously 2 group of 5 teams there. But hey, they're getting their schedules figured out. That's what they said they were going to do. And they're getting there. So, with that was my update, Steve. Anything else on schedules or media?
Yeah, it feels like we're in just such a weird, awkward bridge phase. Yeah. My expectation for so long until there was the record scratch in August was that we would see a continuation of them playing the Mountain West schedule. And so now it just feels like they're trying to throw something together, hodgepodge. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure they're going to make the best of it. Until we get to that next step when we have the new conferences in place. Yeah, for sure. Well, we'll stay on top of it. When there's new news to report, we'll certainly do that. We're definitely focused much more on the Mountain West right now. 1, because that's one of the 2 conferences we follow, and 2, because there's a lot going on right now with the Mountain West. But I put my Built Not Bought shirt back on for JEH. I think it's the first time I've worn it in 2 months, but I knew we were doing a PAC episode, and I said, I'm putting the Beav shirt on, so there she is. Beaver believer. All right, so with that, we thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like this episode. Subscribe if you like our content. We'll see you guys next time on The Big Mountain.